again.
Hey guys.
Hasn't even been a week. I feel like I was just here.
Yeah. It was last week.
I saw both of you guys on Sunday too.
Jesus Christ.
Talked to you on the phone yesterday.
I see you guys a lot.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit much.
No way. Because the reason why we saw each other on Sunday, well, I mean, one of the reasons,
All the reasons.
was
Formula One.
yes, the MalaysiaN Grand Prix just
Cheers.
happened, and
That's what I do beside the TV screen.
A little bone shaker for everyone.
So yeah, it was the MalaysiaN Grand Prix, and as always, we had the pleasure and the great enjoyment of hosting it again at Betty's. Thank you so much for everybody that showed up.
It was great, man. We
And
had
thank
so
you,
many
Betty's.
people.
Yeah, thank you, Betty's. Yeah,
Betty.
Yeah,
Betty
so-
herself. Not
um,
her compadres.
but for sure, yeah, everybody, thanks for coming. You know, Dave, everybody out there, and the regulars as well as the new people that came. We always
lots,
get it.
yeah,
we
lots
get
of
it.
new people.
Yeah, awesome. That's awesome.
Obviously, like a big shout out to Reddit community, the Formula One Reddit community.
Yes.
Because you
Yeah,
guys clearly people are reading about it and then coming out, which
And
is
actually,
fantastic.
You know, one thing that every time that we post the announcement on Reddit that we're doing a meetup in the city for the Grand Prix, like it's almost gotten to like every time like somebody just comments and says like, hey, like wouldn't it be awesome if this was in my city
country?
or like in my
Yeah.
country? Like, guys,
Just do it.
yeah,
Just
just
start
honestly, like
Start with the bar closest
we were
to
on
your neighborhood.
we
and-
were on the fence at the beginning. We didn't know if this was gonna work or not, but we just went and did it. We didn't we do it now every week, but we started last year, and what we picked was a significant enough race that we knew that was gonna get enough attention. Back then was Spa. Like a lot of people were waiting for Spa, but for example, not necessarily like the next race coming up, but like one that's gonna be like a championship decider, like. Or for the U.S. Grand Prix, anything, whatever, if it's your local Grand Prix or whatever, or go to a bar, ask them if you can show the F1, and I'm sure one of them will, like one of your local bars will, post it on Reddit, post it on the internet, and people will show up. You'd be surprised, pleasantly surprised.
There
And
are
then when people do show up, then you say, hey, do you think we can get some half-price wings and nachos too? And they'll be like, all right.
At least that's what happened to us. But yeah, no, thanks to everybody that came to the event. We will be doing it this weekend again for the Japanese Grand Prix as well. The time is still to be determined. Wait up for that. I mean, but I know that it's not going to be popular because here in Canada it's Thanksgiving weekend and everybody dips. Everybody leaves Toronto.
yeah.
Sorry, Tony.
It's a big family weekend.
Sorry,
sort of
Tony.
event.
Yeah. Yeah, it might just be me and Tony there, man. All right, but for today's episode, which also happens to be episode number 80.
Ooh.
We've been doing this
That's 20 away from 100.
Yeah.
Or 20 away from 60.
It's one away from 81, 2 past 78.
But yes, and here we still are with what was a very
It's 420 from 500.
it's
Now you're stretching it.
Hey,
but no, it was a great
let's
race.
talk about the race.
Let's get right on it.
yeah,
right
it was good.
into
It was good.
Looking good for Lewis Hamilton, huh? It was in the beginning. Not just like the race, but like qualifying and practice.
Can you imagine being Lewis Hamilton, waking up that Sunday morning, Malaysia, getting a good stretch, maybe thinking about like your next selfie. And life is good, right? Life is good. You qualified on pole, miles away, because it was quite a dominant, whatever, 0.4 of a second. Or something, whatever it was, the margin to Nico. Like, there was no way. Nobody was going to come close to Lewis. So, like,
Yeah,
Lewis
smashed
is
it in qualifying.
looking pretty. And a track that he's demonstrated some success before. And he's got all the right elements. He knows the brand new engine, right? That he accumulated. He took that penalty for, like, 2 engines. So he's feeling like
Change the rules for next year with that engine.
at the top of the world, Lewis Hamilton, and then the Malaysian Grand Prix actually happens, and that's
And he
gotta
was
be
looking good, man. He was looking real good.
He was
He was pulling away.
touch him over there. I mean, people did get close. Jesus, I mean, the Red Bull strategists. It's almost like as if they knew exactly what was gonna happen.
Helmut Marko said that Red Bull was responsible for forcing Lewis Hamilton's engine to explode.
Wait, why? How? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I don't know. That ask Helmut
that's-
Marko.
That's okay, but Helmut Marko just likes to talk shit.
This is a quote. Red Bull forced Hamilton's Malaysia engine failure.
Oh my god!
What do you say?
But
Of course,
pressure.
you say that.
Oh, by pressure.
By pressure.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
force him to press the gas that much harder, turn it up to engine mode 23, whatever. There's so many.
Good God, man.
They forced him by pressure to blow his engine up. I don't think so.
No, it's more than that. I mean, they did pressure him a little bit, and well, not a little bit. So
According to Lewis-
because of the virtual safety cars, what ended up happening is that because it kind of like slowed down everybody, the couple times that it did, it gave teams like Ferrari and Red Bull like the advantage to go into the pits, and McLaren actually, like Alonso, like used it to perfection. The advantage of coming into the pits and not losing as much time as they would have otherwise. So Lewis never really got to pull away, even though if it had been a perfectly like sunny fucking no unusual
nonsense.
things, no nonsense race,
Yeah.
Lewis would have just pulled away.
Yeah.
And that's what it was looking like he was gonna do. But because of this, to his detriment and the benefit of the other teams, the perfectly placed safety cars, it gave everybody the opportunity to like kind of catch up. And then maybe you could say that because he wasn't like a full pit stop clear of the Red Bulls, then maybe you could say that like Lewis was feeling threatened, but Lewis wasn't feeling threatened. Like Mercedes was not.
He was on point.
Yeah.
He was on point. Absolutely.
One thing that was curious that I found is that I know that most of the people that show up to to Betty's are fans of the sport in general, right? Like the people that come out to like watch the races with us.
Duh.
With us. Yeah,
Not just drunks
no,
and
but-
alcoholics.
No, but what I mean is like fans of the sport, like above
Fans
it.
of chicken wings.
Most of them do have like a preference, but it's mostly Lewis or like
Yeah.
Or
one of the top guys.
Nothing too controversial. It's like either it's like basically like they like the sport as a whole, and then maybe they have a preference for a driver, right?
Right. There's no Daniel Kvyat fans.
No, not really. But it was. But I knew that a few of them whose driver preference I knew from talking to them before was Lewis Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
When Lewis' engine went up in the flames, like they all started cheering as much as everybody else, because they knew the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
They knew like
It was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal when it happened. Because like now like the story is changed, right? Because everyone loves the story of what's happening between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton.
Mercedes had a Hindenburg moment where they thought
Hindenburg moment.
that nothing was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna sink this ship down. We're gonna take the fucking championship in Malaysia and bahaha, and it didn't. And you could see it in the expression of Toto Wolff going like this, and Lewis like.
Yeah,
He went mad.
Lewis thought it was on purpose. He said afterwards that he thought it was on purpose. That it was a higher power. He said it was a higher power.
That's what he said after he talked to Toto Wolff for like a little bit.
A higher
He
power.
calmed him down.
Yeah, he talked to his higher power first. The Totonator.
I can almost see, that scene from Star Wars Episode 1 where I can't remember the guy's name, the racer, like the small guy, and he's the
okay.
You know who I'm talking about, right? He's like a
Episode
little
1.
sort of reptilian looking guy.
Yeah, okay.
He walks on his hands. But he goes over to Anakin Skywalker's pod racer, and he's just like, like snaps this thing. I could, It's like it'll fuck up eventually. I just don't want this kid to win. I could almost see that sort of narrative happen.
Well, that's...
Someone behind the scenes, because now it's like not that it's less exciting or more exciting. It's just a little bit more dramatic, right? Because now Lewis Hamilton he's got to make a choice. He's going to spin out of control, or is he going to keep on going down sort of the straight and narrow path?
It's more than just a little deal, man. It upsets everything. It upsets. I mean, okay, especially in like this is a thing that like maybe that's why like we were all like rejoicing. Maybe we all sort of knew, but like in the back of our heads, like it's not that we're like wishing like any ill will on Lewis himself,
Right.
But everybody enjoys this kind of shit because everybody enjoys a good championship.
I didn't enjoy that. But yeah, it's gonna come down.
Yeah.
I'm 99% sure though the numbers are if Rosberg wins Japan, I think he's got the championship. No,
Who?
Rosberg.
What?
If he wins Japan, there's a chance. If Lewis doesn't finish, it's done.
Okay, have you done the math for this? Because I haven't.
No, I just said I think I saw this somewhere. I have not done the math. Okay, here's some math that has been done. This comes from F1 Fanatic for the quote.
I don't think so.
Hamilton
I don't think
has-
so though, man. There's still 5 races ahead. Don't.
Okay,
no.
while we're talking,
Like,
okay, if you
five.
While
okay,
we're talking, I'll
sit-
figure this out
simple
quick.
maths. No, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Okay.
Okay, where's the phone?
5 times 25. Okay, 5 times 25.
Yeah.
Sorry, right? So there's, what is that? Like 200 and.
Don't do this in your head. Don't do this in your head.
Whatever. That many points more, like just avail up for grabs.
Up for grabs, yeah.
Right? There's absolutely no way that Nico's gonna seal it in Japan. That's a ridiculous statement.
Let me figure it out. Okay, here's something though. Hamilton does have. This is from F1 Fanatic. They did this math. Hamilton has the best reliability of any champion in Formula One history.
Oh, yeah.
Still,
I think he put that out there like after people were like, "Ooh,
yeah. He has
Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton has a
this is
6%
farce."
race DNF rate due to technical failure, which is the lowest of any champion in F1 history ever. 6%. The next 4 behind him, the top 5 are Vettel, Alonso, Button, and Raikkonen. Vettel's got 8.7, Alonso's 10.1, Button is 11.3, and
So this
Raikkonen is at 13%.
So this is presumably like
DNF,
for engine failure or some sort of mechanical failure.
right. Their DNF rate is, all of them, their DNF rates are higher due to crashes, etc.
Yeah.
But due to his failure rate, Lewis Hamilton is by far the lowest. To second place, Vettel is 8.7. He's more than 2.5%. He's almost 150% better reliability over his career than Vettel.
But okay,
You know what I mean? That's and
we've already like made like, you know,
Sorry, guys.
all
Yeah, we
these
know.
points before that, like about like the whole conspiracy.
it was
thing.
played
Like,
up on. I'm just trying to say it's how much it was played up this weekend that Lewis is.
Because
Everyone's
it-
against them, and
that's-
they did it on purpose.
That's the
They
thing is
want
because
Nico,
it
they
was
want Nico to win.
Lewis. It was
Yeah,
Lewis.
and we were watching Sky.
Yeah, well, no, but Lewis this okay. pull up this clip, Mike. Okay, come on, because this is if you haven't seen what
This is
happened
the
on
real
Sky,
Lewis Spearsy.
Jesus Christ!
It's not that the engine failed and Lewis thinks
Okay,
it was
here,
on purpose. The
it's
real
like
Lewis Spearsy
on
is
the book-
this link right here.
on the book is like under Lewis Rewind. Yeah, that one.
The Lewis Rewind.
Okay, so
If
this
you
is
were
what
watching
happened.
Sky, you saw this.
Okay, so this is what happened. Just for our audio listeners. So here's what's gonna happen. If you weren't watching Sky, like the British broadcaster, they were going to pull Lewis up for an interview. And so they have this picture-in-picture thing that they do when they want to still show the race. So like they'll keep the race like, you know, mostly like occupying most of the screen, and then off to the right there's like a little box that pops up where they'll show like people's interviews. Like it could be anybody, whoever. You know, they do this like if somebody gets like disqualified, eliminated, whatever, at during qualifying, or you know if the race and somebody like crashes out or whatever. Sometimes, so clearly they were gonna do this with Lewis as soon as he stepped out onto the TV pen, where they go and do like all their interviews, right? Like just at the end of the pits or whatever. And they showed Lewis coming up, and Rachel Brooks is like about to ask him, like she was trying to like open the interview, like basically saying like, "Yo, Lewis, I want to give you a hug or whatever." And Lewis is like walking, he takes his sunglasses off, and he is crying.
He's wiping away
He's
tears.
crying, and clearly by a directive from somebody. And this is what's fucked up, man. Like I agree with you 100%. I had to like do like a double check, and when we were watching this live, or
I think I
it wasn't
remember
live,
this.
when we were watching this at Betty's, like somebody was like, "Wait a second, no, go back," because everybody wanted to see that again. It's like as if, is this TV? Like, is this television? Is this the media today?
Is this real life?
Like, no, honestly. So they showed Lewis crying, and then the clip goes and they
reverses.
rewind it and take it off the screen and don't show it until way later after Lewis has wiped his tears off. It's almost as if they didn't want to show the man displaying some natural, genuine human emotions.
Yeah.
What the hell
dare
is
they?
No, but what is like what the fuck is the integrity of these people? I actually have a problem with that because that is exactly what the fans want to see.
Yeah.
Except it doesn't align with what they think the fans want to see. So
Sky, yeah.
Right.
The British fans
Yeah.
and the British driver.
But before we play it, like, there's a flip side to this argument.
Yeah.
Which is, that is a valid emotional response, crying, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But had Lewis Hamilton been any other kind of person and more filled with rage, do you and if he was absolutely upset and started spitting off some crazy shit, that's a valid human emotion.
that's that too.
Right, but when I lose at video games, like to my brothers, I get really upset. Like I'll get upset and I'll say shit that
I'm sure you say some funny shit.
it's hilarious. And it's hilarious for other people.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, in 20 minutes, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Just like Lewis Hamilton, had it been any other person, if he just got really, really upset, he would just start saying some slanderous shit.
Yeah.
So, right. Authentic human emotion.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not what he would want, or the team wants, or, like, the broadcasters want.
But what's the point of cuddling to this? Like, to that kind of behavior? Is it there's a whole fucking infantilization of society going on out there.
Right.
That's retarded. No, like, that is plain and simple. Like, so you drop a couple manly tears and you stand by it and you be a man and fucking grow from it and be like, you know what? I'm fucking pissed. That was fucked up. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking some crazy shit right now.
Right.
But
he didn't.
You don't go on try to like push some sort of clout to the media, like, oh, you show me crying again, and like I'm not gonna.
I also don't think that was
interviews.
He was not in the state to even make that kind of a call, even if he had the ability to do so.
But
there's those pictures of him on the side of the track with his head in his hands.
No,
on his
absolutely.
down
But
on his knees,
he was told to. He
and
was obviously
devastated.
told by someone.
And that's the job. And I don't know, man. Like they better know that they're there. If you're gonna like be like a professional sportsman and make like $100 million contract, that comes with the job.
$152 million.
I'm sorry, but it is part of being a sportsman. Is part of being a public figure.
Right.
You have to be open for this because this is what the fans want. This is why this sport is even a sport in the first place. Right.
This doesn't make him look bad though. This makes
humans.
Sky look bad.
No, this is great, and this is what what Ted was saying. So if you watched Sky later for the post show, one of the things that Ted was saying is like, isn't it great? He opened it with this. Isn't it great that in this age of hyper reliability, this and that we still have in 2016 a championship that could have just gotten upset just by good old engine blow-ups, engines going bang, and he says like, and that's what made Formula One so great before. That's what we had in the 80s. And then you showed people on TV like fucking like that fight that they showed in the pre-show, like people like going like after each other and displaying some raw human emotion. I'm sorry, like whether you like it or not, doesn't mean that then everything has to be like, let's like trigger warning everything, and oh my god, this might make somebody upset. No, that's
if you don't like it, that means you're soft.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, that's what some people have like a problem with like the sport going soft, or like these kids not being mad.
He instantly turned around. Like he's crying right there, and he said like, I don't know, it feels like somebody doesn't want me to win this year. How come it's me? There's 8 Mercedes powered cars.
Right.
My engine keeps blowing up. But then he said afterwards, I got complete faith in my team, and he said that he saw
someone fucking
tears.
talked to him.
He saw tears in the eyes of all his mechanics, and
Yeah.
he had complete faith in them.
We still haven't even showed
They
this.
obviously
Sorry,
won.
we
We haven't even showed this. We've been
Okay, let's show
play
it.
this clip.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to play it silently.
Yeah.
Here's Lewis, takes his glasses, wipes his tears, and in the real clip, you actually hear that.
You hear like the rewind noise going on.
You want put the mouse over that speaker thing. Play the sound. Play the sound right now.
Like right. Yeah.
There, perfect timing.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
That's why Mike's the producer. That was the real sound from live Sky Sports F1 channel during the post-race interview of Lewis Hamilton.
I killed this before.
That's what happened. Yeah, before we get in trouble.
Yeah.
Sorry. F1's
Yeah.
Hopefully some of these
I'm
rules turn around
like,
too.
I
That
don't-
we can comment on these clips without
It's not on.
Oh, it's not on.
It's
getting
not on.
right.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
That was the real noise from TV that the producers were thinking so fast. No, can't show this on TV.
Right.
And you see it. We've talked about this and laughed all season about Brundle and Damon Hill and every single person on TV at Sky, every personality sucking Lewis's balls since Australia.
But listen, okay.
and thinking like
I don't think that it's because they necessarily want to, but yeah, it is so weird because it's so blatant now that it's like up and I wish that it wasn't so, because I do think that as far like as F1 commentary goes, the British do have probably like the most complete package of content that they can offer.
Absolutely.
But maybe this is what this is what Liberty Media is talking about. That it doesn't have to be that way. But I think that
I can't promise myself like when there's a fact when Lance Stroll and Nicholas Latifi get in Formula One, that we're not gonna suck their balls all day and cry when their engines blow up too.
These balls are as smooth as eggs.
well, yeah, we'll big him up too. Like
Yeah.
you gotta like you gotta.
Absolutely.
That's what they're doing at the end of
Otherwise,
the
it
day.
would be weird. But like
They're Canadians. These guys are
where's-
British. You
No,
know,
where's the idea of media impartiality and like actually showing like and I think that this is
if those guys cry
this-
though,
no,
yeah,
no,
that's what happened.
Here, this is a blowback to that. So the fact that like now there's like somebody that was like so like enthusiastic about Lewis, like Brundle before, like that, not even like 2 Grand Prix ago, he was like saying like, yo, Lewis, form of his life, da 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 da, like, you know, whenever something happens,
He's back. We've seen a turnaround in his mentality. He's gone away after the summer break.
He's only had
smashed the second half of this.
He's only had bad luck, you know.
Yeah.
Like he
All of
was
that.
he was on that bandwagon.
It is
Brundle
bad luck
was.
though.
Yeah, no, but you know, yeah, it is right. So,
It's,
but he was
it's
saying
gotta
that-
be. If you believe in this shit,
But
it's
now-
the universe balancing itself. He's
But
at
now-
6% reliability.
But now,
It's amazing.
6%.
but now that there's like there's something going on with whatever. Like yeah, so he's I think it was from Mark Hughes of the Motorsport magazine. In his most recent article about Malaysia, he basically said he quoted Toto Wolff saying that it's almost as if he keeps like he keeps rolling the same number, or like
44?
like 6 times in a row, or like if he bets at a casino, like he keeps getting red 6 times in a row. It's just a statistical.
That's what it is.
It's just a
for sure.
statistical anomaly,
sure.
right? There's like, that is what they've claimed, and there's no reason to suspect that
Or
it's been
Nico
otherwise.
sprinkling sand in his piston.
right? But
Oh, that's what I thought.
but what made it different this time is that Lewis himself now was instigating the
gods,
like,
the universe.
the comments. And if you saw, man, I just
Did
had
you
a
say
feeling.
the comments?
No. Okay, so here's what I did. As soon as I
Wished
saw
on a
that
shooting
happen,
star.
as soon as I saw that happen, I went home. Well, whatever. Yeah. So we went. We watched the Grand Prix. Then we got together. Whatever. We kept hanging out for the rest of the night. And then the first thing that I did the next morning is I went on the Mercedes Facebook page, and it was full of gold, man.
You got a link for me there on that one?
Oh, this is I'm not. I don't even want to like entertain any of this shit that's going on in the Mercedes page right now. Just if you're curious about this kind of shit, like go on it. Like it's like people are like crying like conspiracy. This is the worst year of F1 today. Like this year F1 is a farce. Oh, this was great.
This gold was only flamed up. Nope. Well, pun intended for sure. On this tweet here.
But this happened. So this
is
happened
part of the
before.
Lewis Spears. Yeah, this was before the race. Mercedes tweeted, "Fastest man on track right now?" Question mark. That'd be car number. Emoji 44. Emoji flame. Emoji flame. Hashtag F1. Hashtag Malaysia GP. That's a tweet. If you go to Mercedes AMG F1 on Twitter, they tweeted the flame emojis beside Lewis's number, and caused a glitch in the universe, which made his engine blow up on purpose. This is why I was obviously on purpose.
So what you're saying is the
this
number of people that saw this somehow indirectly or directly focused the energy in order for his car to literally catch on fire with 2 fire emojis.
Oh yeah, man. No.
I saw the spark.
So
Let's hear some of this
just
this Facebook post raceness.
yeah. So no, just one thing. Just to summarize it all. Yesterday, they updated their cover photo on Facebook to a Japan GP thing, like a theme with showing like the Ferris wheel and whatever.
Yeah.
And the top comment still to this day right now is, have you guys decided yet if it's gonna be suspension, brake, or engine failure this weekend? Oh man, yeah, it's like that. Seriously, it's hilarious. Like, whether you're a Lewis fan or not, like that's
just gold. Man, the internet, it provides.
But this time it's flamed by Lewis, so that's why I can see how now you get articles from F1 Fanatic, Martin Brundle now coming up and saying listen, no, people, let's not get carried away.
Right.
We're now just experiencing this was the words of a man in the heat of the moment, which is fair enough. That is what
that shouldn't need to be explained. Goddamn millennials.
We're millennials.
Barely.
Generation X, whatever the one.
Millennials. Yeah, we'll get both together.
Okay, one comment I have is: do you think Lewis Hamilton had the choice to go see the press after that point?
No, they all have contractual obligations.
They have contractual.
They all work for Formula One at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, it's embedded in their contract, so
they have to go. Yeah, do that.
It's part of the bigger contract that binds the teams, and so this is. A lot of people don't understand that this is how it works.
Need content to show on TV.
A lot of people
just want to show grown men crying.
Well, they don't understand that
that's what it boils down to. Of course.
They want to show what makes money, right? What can be marketable, what can be commercializable. But so
natural disasters.
To interrupt what we talked on the weekend about the footage of the deadly crashes being held back because they're worth money, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they do that.
But sorry, yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying because it trickles down from this strictly kind of in a very indirect way. There's never a strict clause, but you can tell that it is from the Concord Agreement. So, because Bernie at one point, when negotiating the commercial rights and how money gets distributed with the teams, he would say all right, this is part of the deal is that. Okay, we're going to give you money, but we have to be able to get some TV content. So they build these TV pens. And part of the contract at the very top level is all right, teams, whenever you sign with a driver, there are these media obligations. And that has to be part of every contract that you sign with every driver. So it trickles down, right down to the contract with every driver. There are some clauses that are determined basically by the Concord Agreement. That's where it stems. But... yes, teams do drivers do have to go out and talk to the media. That's part of what they're supposed to do. If not, they break their contract. They could be they could there's gonna be a problem there.
I feel at least within the last 2 years since I started watching Formula One, that there have been times where either Sebastian Vettel or someone who crashed, one of the higher up guys, just refused to talk to anyone. Was just no. And I'm pretty sure this has happened.
They have to show up to the pen. So I think that's the thing. So they're enforceable. Oh, hey. Yeah, they can show up to the pen and they can just be nah. And this is
you know what probably happened is he was crying, and he wasn't
Real
as open
tears.
as Lewis. Yeah, he was just fuck, I'm not showing these guys see me cry on TV. Just kept walking. Lewis is yeah, man, this is my day got fucked up. Let him see me cry. He's more open than Vettel.
I mean, obviously,
you can watch.
Even if that happened, and then at this point, this was the turning point for Lewis Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
This was it. He got 0 points. His main competition got, what do you get for third place? You get
16, 15?
Yeah, something. Right. So essentially,
15,
he's
sorry.
all likelihood just not going to win it. And that's that's crossing his mind at this point. He's just filled with like emotions.
He wants to. You got to think about last year, right? And how things have changed from last year. Last year, Lewis was actually at the top of the world. You know,
almost the entire
F1
time,
speaking, right?
if not the entire time.
Okay, so let's go back to last year. So Suzuka, like by the end of the Japanese Grand Prix last year, Lewis had sealed the championship. He was so far away from everybody else that like he had enough points to like it be mathematically impossible for everybody else.
He's 23 points behind going into it this year.
Like the fact of the matter is that today we have
more of a championship.
We have a Lewis that is not unchallenged. We have a Lewis that is fighting, and whether he's crying or not, I bet that in the end of the day, if he wins this championship, which he most likely will, because you know there's nothing to stop Rosberg's engine from blowing up next time around. It's gonna feel like a lot more like that Ford championship is gonna feel, because he's gonna have to fight it, and he's expressed over and over again that he actually prefers a fight. Like he's come out and like straight up said,
well,
like,
you don't get to Formula One without fighting.
Yeah,
that's just sort of the truth about it, especially if you drive for Mercedes. Especially.
Well, I mean, Lewis has a future that's secured until 2018, right?
Yeah.
So he's not
going anywhere.
He's not driving right now. He has the advantage of like not really driving for the money right now. He's driving for like his passion.
Yeah.
And that showed last year in one way, and this year is just coming. Like we're just seeing the other side of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got money. Money for ages.
Can I just bring up a point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Nico Rosberg happier.
Until
did
you see the post-race press conference?
No, I didn't.
This
is podium. I'm going off of podium.
Until the Shoey. Did you see it? Did you see the post-race press conference? You see it?
Yeah.
When they asked him about the Shoey,
he's like, I wish he didn't win again or something.
His face went upside down. He was pissed off. The thing is, though, that Danny Rick, if you remember the last time he did the Shoey a couple weeks ago, he said afterwards, I'm not doing that again until I win a race.
Yeah.
What is the next thing he does is win a Grand Prix. And he had to drink out of his sweatiest shoe of the year, the sweatiest race of the whole calendar. He had to, and that's why he at least like watered it down. Well, he drank it first, but he shared it around 5 people. Oh my god!
One of the Sky
Verstappen was a sport about it.
Yeah, no, he went for it.
He's like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fucking 18.
He's on the cliff of becoming worldwide superstar.
Yeah.
Drinking every shoe that's passed his way.
He just sees a flying boot in the sky. He's like, oh, is that for me to drink?
Yeah, Horner took a sip. Weber took a sip. Weber threw that shoe away.
It's funny because
Rosberg took a sip and he got mad.
The Sky Boys in the post-race show, one of them was like, man, like he was walking around with just his socks on, and they asked him like, well, where did your other shoe go? He's like, I don't know, man, somebody took it. But then he like one of them was like, man, like I can fucking smell your feet from here. Like I can't even imagine drinking from that. Hey, there's some interesting conversation going on right now on the chat. So we have something that I did want to bring up is this whole idea that, well, I mean, the speculation is that if you run the math, Max Verstappen, you know, had a good chance, man.
Had pace.
Like he had pace, and he did if things had stayed the same for like a couple more laps, or even like I think like some people were like saying like even one more lap, like he could have won. Like it was a series of like
multi 21. Rick, multi 21.
It was like no, for that lap.
They let them race.
You know, like the Grand Prix ended when it did, and it was fortunate for Daniel Ricciardo because he didn't have to put himself in a position where he was actually fully threatened by Verstappen. But Verstappen was catching up for a long time. But the fact is that, it was partly due to Daniel Ricciardo's driving skills that got him there. It was a big chunk of the strategy, right? And
You got probably got a boost. He got
it was
his
also
friends and family at the circuit.
and it was also
Flew them up, I'm sure, with his millions.
it was also a good dose of good luck that he kind of had been missing, and it's great to see him because I think
The gods just wanted him to drink out of his shoe. That's all.
Yeah. They did not want Lewis there. They wanted to see the gods. The gods are funny. They wanted to see a Shoey more than they wanted to see
Works in
Lewis
mysterious
Hamilton.
ways.
Yeah, there you go. We cracked it, Lewis. We know why you lost. It wasn't anything to do with you. We just everybody wanted to see another Shoey.
No, but for real, that was badass. Red Bull let them race. They were racing like wheel to wheel, almost bouncing off each other. Same like Toro Rosso and Red Bull let Kvyat and Max race last week. The last race, sorry. That's awesome. Yeah. They learned from that Multi-21 business for sure. That was some bad. They still show that on Sky constantly. How there's bad publicity for them every Multi-21. Seb, Multi-21. There's just bad publicity all around. Can we show this?
Yeah, this we can definitely show.
This is from the official Sepang Instagram. This is the 5 or 6 Australian maniacs drinking out of their own shoes in their underpants. They all have matching underpants on. They ended up getting arrested. The 5 or 6 of them ended up getting arrested.
This is not from the Sepang circuit, by the way. That's just the location tag. That's a location tag.
It is?
It's a location tag. Listen to what I'm saying. That's a location tag.
The top right?
This is where they are.
Okay. Anyway, they're at Sepang. Naked. They ended up taking their underpants off, and they all went to jail for drinking beers out of their shoes. Way too drunk, naked. In Malaysia, you just don't do that there. Even though it's really hot. It's really hot. You're not used to it. You're drunk. Keep your underpants on. Keep those.
Well, I know. I don't think they were fully naked. I think they just.
No, I think they ended up fully naked. That was
okay.
The news story. Like, this is some Instagram bullshit. The real news story I saw was a censored picture of them that said they were naked, and they all got arrested.
They're not. They're wearing
not here.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
But they planned it. Like they were coordinated.
They showed up together. The matching underpants.
That's so funny.
And sunglasses.
And they're drinking out of their shoes. So these are Australian fans.
Yeah, the maniacs.
We said that if there's a race that he was gonna win, like he may as well have won this one.
Yeah, he's in the post-race conference. Danny Rick was like, my parents are here, my friends. Yeah. He flew them all up, his family and everything. Everyone.
And also for the Australian
good
fans.
Good for him, man.
So here's the thing: going to the Australian Grand Prix is not necessarily, and if we have any Australians listening right now, like you can probably verify this, but going to the Australian Grand Prix is not cheap, and Melbourne is a super expensive city. Singapore is also not cheap, and it's not a cheap city either. But Malaysia, apparently, as far as the whole F1 calendar is concerned, they are the cheapest tickets overall.
Yeah,
and it's also like KL, Kuala Lumpur is a cheap city. It's you can have a lot of fun. Like your dollars will get you a lot further than they would definitely.
You get
in
a
Melbourne.
frog for 27 bahts or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. So as far as some Australian fans, it would have been cheaper for a lot of them to go to the Malaysian Grand Prix than the Australian Grand Prix or the Singapore Grand Prix. And
you get a nice vacation out of it too.
Yeah, exactly. So
go away for the weekend.
In that sense, it kind of made sense.
Danny Rick here. Just quickly scroll. You can just fly through this gallery. This is just a gallery of Australians doing shoeys that I found online. All kinds of different racing categories.
Not Australian.
Okay, well, all inspired. Oh, not in Australia.
Oh, Jesus.
The inspired shoeys. It's becoming a thing. Please don't ever ask me to do this. You've already.
You asked me to put this on the internet.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Oh, I'm not.
This is
Jay. You promised the world that you were going to do it last week.
There's not much
based
you
on
can
next
fit on one of these.
That's not a shoey. It's not called a sandally. It's not called a sandally.
It's called a Birkenstocky.
It's called a shoey.
But as the title of our show said it. Maybe it's better that Lewis wasn't up there because we got to see that glorious like quintuple shoey. Everybody fucking drank out of his shoe, man. That's so great. Can you imagine?
No.
I
could not imagine.
This is F1 in 2016. People are drinking out of other people's shoes.
Yeah, this seems like it's going back to the 70s shit. Forget the
Yeah.
halo, man. Drink out of a shoe. Throw the halo idea. You'll completely forget about the halo idea. You never think about it again. Don't worry about halos. Just drink out of a shoe. This is what the sport needs. We're going back to the raw, crying men drinking out of their own sweaty ass shoes.
Yo, buddy, there's a guy like right now in our chat right now telling us that he's from like he's from Danny Rick's hood
from his
Yeah.
province and hometown.
Yeah, and he's from the same street actually, and
Oh
he
my
says
goodness.
that it is cheaper to go to Malaysia like per ticket, and like, even with a 5-hour flight, it's cheaper than all the other ones.
Than to
So-
go, than
so
to
what-
go to
so
downtown Melbourne.
I'd love to, man. I'd love to go to KL like for the Grand Prix. That'd be bad. It's just a bit too far for us, but like
For us,
if you're
for
in
us, it's not the
Australia,
cheapest.
if you're in Australia, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
Like then later, like I'd graduate like to like the Japanese Grand Prix maybe, but not. You know what I mean? Anyway, but
Anyways, a bunch more stuff happened
Uh,
further down the
thanks
grid.
there,
this past weekend.
Luke.
Yeah, thanks, man, for confirming that.
yeah,
Palmer, first point for
It
Renault.
was
A bit
about
late.
time.
A bit late. K-Mag, first engine fire, almost died. Almost. See, imagine
Brake
if he was
fi-
wearing the
the-
halo.
yeah.
Imagine if he was testing that halo. That was during the
Oh
practice.
true.
You still that big fire?
Yeah, it wouldn't go out. So this was
His car got fucked up. They had to rebuild the whole thing.
Yeah, this was during practice, right?
During practice, yeah.
Yeah.
Just started shooting fuel out this hole in the top.
Did anybody see this out there? It's so crazy. Oh my god! Somebody said Black Inferno on the chat just said do this Shoey with downforce.
I might have to.
Black
Yeah.
Inferno, yeah.
Might have
Now that you, Jesus, now we have.
Why?
To
Why?
All right. Anyway, but
Unsubscribe, Black Inferno. You unsubscribe right now. I guess we're gonna have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, somebody on the chat just challenged us to do a Shoey with downforce, and I think we'd be lesser men if we didn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Why did he even think?
Next
of that?
episode. Next episode.
We'll see.
Anyways, Julian Palmer, first point.
Yeah.
Jesus. What do you say? What do you say about that? That K-Mag fire was big. He's got a few more points this season.
So clearly we're talking about Renault now.
Renault, yeah.
and things that
We're just talking
Renault might or might not
further
do.
down the
Let me
grid
tell you one thing
in
that Renault is
general.
not gonna do.
Yep.
Get Sergio Perez. He's not gonna go.
No.
Right? No.
No,
But so
that's
that
for
was
reals.
news. So we were talking about this last episode of like where he was gonna go because he had some choices, or he like at least was planning, was talking to some people. I think that I want to say that I'm a little more surprised, but I'm not, because if I had a choice in between a very unstable Renault that has no idea what's gonna happen next year,
Honestly, I got
in a-
unbiasedly, I got complete faith in Renault. They say they've been working on next year's car and stuff. Look at Red
they
Bull's
have
doing
a management
with the same-
crisis. Who knows who's
Okay,
in
but-
charge? Who's in charge there? Is it Fred Vasseur?
Freddie Vasseur.
But is it a beatable, or like why is it a beatable?
I think K-Mag's in charge. He's gonna be around. He's gonna be around. You know who this is great for?
What?
Nicholas Latifi.
Oh yeah.
Palmer is a little bit too late. The Renault team's official goal now, what they've announced this morning, I guess, is a double points finish. Each car has gotten points individually. They want to get 2 in the same race. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't think Palmer's gonna be around, man.
Well, Lucas actually just saying so.
I like the guy. He's a nice dude.
No, he brings something up. So Luke actually said like from the chat right now that there is an internal power struggle in the sense that the top figures at Renault have different ideas of where the team should go, and the top figures, I guess,
Should they put in watch components in there? Obviously.
Fred
they
Vasseur versus Abiteboul. And Fred Vasseur, it once came out to stay, which is the rational thing. But here's
K-Mag is a good marketer too.
Here's
man.
where
He's
Fred Vasseur comes. Fred Vasseur
got
actually just
Jack and Jones behind him.
he comes from very successfully leading a junior series campaign. for many years he had been involved in their junior series, and he's a guy that he knows.
Abitibu's got that accent though, man. He's so smooth.
Abitibu is a politician,
cigarettes.
as far as I can see. He's like we were watching that episode of friggin' Dragon's Den or whatever, yeah, or Shark Tank, whatever. Like what is that you play? Whatever it was, one of those shows. We were watching an episode before we went on live, and there was this woman that like said like, "Oh, you're too slick. You're too slick. I don't trust you. You're too slick. I'm out." That's
the physics machine. If you're a beer drinker, look at the physics machine.
That's
kind of bullshit.
That's kind of how I feel about.
Seems like bullshit.
But look, that's kind of how I feel about. And I think that a lot of people feel about Cyril Abitibu.
About Abitibu?
Yeah, he comes as like too suave, and like there's almost no reason why he is where he is right now.
Yeah.
Some people to get to the position that he is right now would have had to demonstrate some success in leading a team to victory, but he came from a failed Caterham where all he did was spend Tony whatever fucking from what was his name, Tony whatever, the guy from Air Asia guy.
Yeah. I can picture him.
Yeah, whatever. It's the brown guy, whatever. So Tony spent Tony's billions into like making a team that never actually worked. That had to.
I think it's what I was just
saying.
saying. It's his slick French accent. He's got that smooth voice. He's like you said, he's a politician type dude. Remember at the end of last season, at the start of the season during testing, Abitibu was on TV in every segment. Every press conference.
So he knows how to talk to the media.
Like,
what
Renault's
the
doing this between
what
that
kind of
Tag Heuer thing was going down.
What kind of qualifications are that?
Yeah,
that's
you're
not
right.
Qualification. And that's why he's
I'm
grounded now.
I'm agreeing with you.
So he's now grounded in Britain. That's where he is right now. But Fred, there's wind that Fred Vasseur, who is clearly more competent at actually like picking drivers or at least running a racing team. He may not be the most media friendly personality, but he's clearly like he's demonstrated that he's competent at running a racing team. There's wind of him actually thinking of leaving the team.
I think that's gotta be a power move.
Yeah,
he's looking for that team leader seat.
Tony Fernandez, that's his name.
Fernandez, yeah.
Thanks, Luke.
My belief, this is what I've kind of been writing the past couple of weeks, is I think K-Mag stays on as the number one driver. And actually this morning, Renault just announced that they've extended their option on his decision to October 14. So I guess we're going to find out in the next 10 or 12 days or so. But I think K-Mag stays on as the number one driver, and number two is going to... It's going to be a tight choice now between Palmer and Latifi.
If you had to choose, though, you would for sure choose K-Mag over Palmer.
K-Mag, yeah, he's gonna stay the number one driver. You need to keep some continuity going in the team.
I know that we're probably gonna lose at least one subscriber or something for saying this, but like British people, like let's be true to each other here and think. Palmer is not like he's just not. I'm sorry.
He just hasn't stepped up, man.
He's not cut up for it.
What else do you say, man?
Look at the roster.
Look at K-Mag. You still call him a rookie too, and if he were to stay 6 times points of Palmer.
Well, if he were to stay for whatever reason, he'd just be holding up so much progress, and it's been pointed out too in the during the chat. So let's say Ocon moves to Renault. Alongside K-Mac, and then Pierre Gasly gets promoted to Toro Rosso. So this is from Luke and Vince. It's a domino effect where like
Kvyat ends up nowhere.
Then Kvyat like maybe stays or maybe goes somewhere else. Whatever happens, it's kind of like a domino effect that then ends up with somebody from a junior category moving up, maybe possibly 2 people, right? And we've only like seen good things come from that now. Before, up until about 4 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago, the new people that came to F1 all disappointed. And names like Charles Pic, who was kind of good sometimes, but not necessarily F1 material. Max Chilton, never good.
Charles Pic's in Formula E now.
But you know what I mean? Like, so it's names used to come and like go pretty much every year, these paid drivers, but now we're actually seeing a good roster of young drivers coming from the lower formula that are making a splash. Like Carlos Sainz, like I honestly like when he came,
he was offered the Renault seat and he turned it down. This is a sort of one of those F1 rumors, but apparently he was offered the seat, turned it down, and said he'd rather stay with Toro Rosso. He's more comfortable there. He'd rather continue with that team.
Yeah, well,
obviously knows the people there as well. Then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he has he's already stated his loyalty. I think he knows, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like you gotta like if there's nothing wrong with, you know, not biting the hand that feeds.
For sure, yeah.
I think that if he feels like he's in a position that he could learn more from Red Bull before he can move on, then yeah. And I know that some people are saying that Kvyat is back in form and all that. And all the power to him. Listen, if Kvyat keeps pulling the same kind of performance that he has been, there's actually no reason to move or to be so hasty about moving Gasly, because you could place Gasly somewhere else. You could give Gasly the same kind of experience that he could have had, say in Formula One, by like doing a combination of like a test intensive program with just another category. Like just give him, like, you know, loan him out to WC team.
Red Bull Air Race. Throw him out of an air balloon at 25,000 kilometers.
Loan him out to DTM. Loan him out to or see how he does in what's that Japanese, the Super Formula? Yeah, like see how he does out there the same way that McLaren did with Van Dorn. He doesn't. It's not like there's any rush to like bring him in if you know that Kvyat is a known quantity. Obviously, there's gonna be a decision for the very, very, very volatile Dr. Helmut Marko, and who knows? Like nobody knows what's gonna happen until the very end, whether we'll see Gasly or not. Mm-hmm. But in between Gasly and like just about any other talented name out there, I don't know if there's, you know what I mean. This year, like there's. And I forget which magazine or whatever like publication it is that I read this, but they titled it the changing of the guards, and it's true that right now maybe F1 teams are kind of spoiled for choice in the sense that they have so many young guns that they could potentially go with. Like we've talked about Stroll in the past, we've talked about Gasly, that Russian kid that you were really excited about. What's his name?
Markelov.
Yeah. All of these kids.
I wouldn't say I'm that excited.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like, these kids were like
he's getting some hype. It's not all from me, though. But anyways, yeah,
Giovinazzi. Like we have names out there like Leclerc.
Gasly right now also running for Prima Racing.
Yes. Is he? What series?
Yes, he is in GP2.
Okay. Yeah.
He's currently second place in the championship right now. Season's not over, but yeah, he's running second place. There you go. He's a reserve driver for Red Bull. He's the number one Red Bull Driver Academy prospect. He's the next guy. So I don't know. He's right up there. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, it's
silly season. It's silly season.
Yeah, of course, but this is what I'm saying. We have a lot of names, whereas before, from the rookies that were like, you know, kind of pointed as being like the next F1 personalities. There weren't that many, you know, and not as many
Bruno Senna.
No, I'm saying people that like from year to year, right around this time, like we like, you know, the F1 people started looking at what's going on in the junior series, and there just wasn't that much an offer, not as much as this year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And even Nicolas Latifi, which I guess we have patriotic duty to like say this, but yes.
Hashtag Ask Latifi.
There's
Throw your questions. He's doing an AMA tomorrow.
Nicolas Latifi.
Ask him anything.
He is doing some
Twitter.
No, but what is he doing for Renault?
Twitter question.
I think he does either testing for Renault or like he does development. He's like the Renault development driver. He's one of those two positions. I'm not 100% sure, but he is associated with Renault, like to the point that like they take him out and like have him drive one of the old F1 cars for like, you know, exhibition or whatever. He is involved in the Renault program, and he is from Toronto, where we are right now. and he's doing a sort of Q&A session tomorrow, based off of questions that came from Twitter. So if you're curious, if you're like interested at all in like any aspect from the junior series or somebody coming up through the ranks, you can just go on Twitter and use the hashtag Ask Latifi. Yeah, let me spell
He's
it.
Renault's test driver.
Latifi, Ask Latifi. And,
Renault's test driver.
and you can submit your questions there, and he'll answer them.
Toronto, what?
Yeah.
So how about that K-Mag conspiracy though?
K-Mag
The fire. They obviously burned his car down on purpose so that Julian Palmer could get a point this weekend. Why else? Why else would they set his car on fire?
Listen,
He almost died and stuff and got his back burned. And
Listen, there's two Renaults.
only one of them can get points at a time.
There's two Renaults out there, and it just seems like these things keep happening to K-Mag.
Anyways, somebody
is there actually a conspiracy about Renault right now, other
No.
than like who they're gonna pick next year? Like, no, not really.
Conspiracy for them who they're gonna pick? No, they're just being secretive. I think they just want to kind of go with like they realized they didn't pull off as strong of a year as they expected, so there's no official draft in F1 or anything like that.
Right.
But there's an unofficial draft, so I think they're just politely waiting their turn. They're just gonna wait till most of the other teams have settled their decisions and announced them, and see who's left the best and take them. Maybe end up getting a better deal as well.
Right.
Instead
Yeah,
of
well,
having
that's
to compete
the
for
reason why
take
you
the
would wait, right?
You take the best leftovers, perhaps something like that. I think that's what it is. But they probably have like a 3 or 5 year plan to do something for real. I don't know.
Yeah,
But somebody
they got to the points, right? Yeah, Palmer got to the points.
that was it. Yeah, he just took his first point this season, pulled off 10th place,
Jesus.
and I believe K-Mag's got 6 for the year.
Oh, right. Third place gets 15. Okay.
If you go to the left by race, at the top there, on the left, I think it'll give you this. Oh, maybe not. It's at the very top. It gives you the season rankings. But anyway, somebody whose silly season finally ended this weekend. Remember last week we said Perez threatened if they didn't make a decision this weekend on his career,
Yeah.
he's gonna start looking outside F1. I'm serious.
I'm serious, guys. Oh my god.
Yeah. So they finally made him a deal. He signed a contract, and he's staying at Force India. I can't read this whole thing because it's really big. I'm not even sure he wrote this himself, but if you go to his Twitter, he's got like an open letter there, signed Checo, you know. But anyways, he's saying that he's proud to keep representing his Mexican companies with his keeping his sponsors, staying at a team that's brought him up through the ranks, that's pushing forward. And for real, like looking at this, look at Force India and Williams, man. They're 3 points apart now. They were 11.
Silly.
Going into this weekend, we said last week, I think they were 11 points. They're 4 points apart, man. Williams and Force India is going to probably come down to the last race. They're both going to dump money at the end of they're just going to desperately dump money into the last few races for any advantage they could possibly get to win to 4th place of this championship. Look at that.
It's a little silly.
This is the most exciting thing that's happening in this season right now. There's only a few races left. To me, this is huge, man. Force India versus Williams.
Are you kidding me? That's like the most exciting fight. Now,
Yeah,
I'm glad that you brought up Williams.
Can you imagine?
I'm glad that you brought up Williams.
If VJ was still there, why can't he go to races? Come on, Interpol, India. Come on, drop that thing, man. You don't want to take his passport away. This guy is representing India.
I think it's
Force India.
I think it's more than Interpol, and actually Interpol, if you look into it, they can't really do
They
anything.
can't
They don't
do
have
much.
any
I know.
jurisdiction. But anyway,
The band is cool though.
yeah.
But these guys, if he tries to travel, if this guy tries to go anywhere, he's
Well,
gonna.
we
India's got a few
can you
deals with
imagine?
country-
He probably have like a multicolor mohawk or something.
Yeah, Indian colors.
He'd look more like Pumba than a person.
Oh, man. Everybody loves everything from India. Why do you guys want to give this guy so much trouble? Let him go.
Yeah, let him
Forgive his debts.
Let
Look at
let
Force
him be
India.
let him be a corrupt person around the world willy nilly. I don't think
Yeah.
that's. I can't agree 100%.
Not just corrupting Great Britain.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Take his money, whatever. Just
Well,
let
I mean-
him go so he can show up at races.
I think maybe he should invest in one of those like hologram things where he can actually be there or something.
One of those-
He's there.
One
Like
of those
Michael
bots.
Jackson
One of
or
those
Tupac.
auto presence bots, whatever.
But listen,
Yes.
here's what happens. Their victory, or at least the way that the things seem to be going, forced India's
3 points.
recent
3 points behind Williams.
not necessarily dominance, but like the fact that they're doing so much and that they're basically schooling. There you go. They're schooling Williams right now. They're like showing them this. So
According to Bottas, it's Williams' tire knowledge.
You don't know how to run a team on limited resources. Let us show you how. We have the same engine. They have the same engine.
Yeah.
We have the same engine. Fucking game on. And that is one of the biggest in terms
it's
of
exciting.
in terms
This
of
is
two
the
constructors
most
going.
exciting fight.
But it's gonna end next year, and this is the reason why. Okay?
Maybe.
No, it's gonna end this year.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
So, do you know? Do you hear about James Key moving? So James Key,
I've heard of this guy. Yeah.
James Key. James Key is basically he occupied James Allison's role. You know, like so the guy, like the technical director, fucking aerodynamics, whatever, the fucking technical guy.
Yeah.
At Toro Rosso.
Did
Or
James
he
Allen,
still does. He still
did James Allen Spearsy?
does. No.
James Allen of the Spearsy.
Allison, you mean? But
what I
so anyway, so he has that role. So and we basically like said that as long if it wasn't for that donkey of a Ferrari engine that they still have from last year, Toro Rosso would be doing very good. And actually, they showed up at the beginning of the year as one of the most interesting cars to look at. Remember, we were before the season even started when the car. Mike, you must remember this. When we started to look at the beginning of this year, we started to look at the cars as they were coming out, as they got released, and there was this one car that was just blue with no stickers on it, and like from the moment we saw it, we were like, holy crap, that car. Like we were like, look at the shape of the air intake. Look at the shape. The Force India entered this year, or sorry, the Toro Rosso. The Toro Rosso came into this year as one of the most innovative chassis from last year.
They admitted almost halfway through the season they had kind of decided to just throw the year away on testing out some innovative, cool shit, weird ideas.
Yeah.
Because the Ferrari engine sucks. Next year we're gonna lock up with the Red Bull and sink our engine.
Well, they chose
the engine side at least.
They chose to capitalize on the fact that
they weren't going to win anything.
Well, they knew that for the first
Yeah.
few races of the year, they could probably still be competitive because their engine was close
Nobody
enough.
knew what they were doing.
Correct.
Yeah, nobody knows what's close.
So they decided to capitalize on that.
Haas killed it in the 6th place in Australia.
But Toro also did, and
Yeah.
since then, especially this year, James Key, he cemented his reputation as a visionary designer of fast cars, and he was in very high demand. And now there are rumors. This is not confirmed yet, but there are rumors
Nothing's
like
ever confirmed.
indicated by many things. So this was, I think, on the Twitter sphere. Our buddy Toby broke it, but the article itself on Automotor und Sport comes from Michael Schmidt. Michael Schmidt. Yeah, and Michael Schmidt. If you follow us and if you follow F1 for a long time, like even like Ted, I think a couple of notebooks ago, he like went up to Michael Schmidt and asked him something, and he's like, yo, that was Michael Schmidt. He's like a big deal. So
that's why we have our own Michael Schmidt.
yeah,
He sits right over here and controls the YouTube.
but yeah,
The best.
So he says that that Key, that James Key, has actually been poached by Williams, and that he's basically set to replace Pat Simmons whenever Pat Simmons decides to retire, and Pat Simmons is about to, right? Or, you know, he should be in the next few years.
Yeah.
Then James Key is gonna take over for him at Williams, which would make sense because a lot of these guys. So he's a British guy. He probably doesn't want to be like hanging out in Italy. For some reason, British guys don't last a lot in Italy. I'm looking at you, James Allison. But you know what I mean. So like he'd want to go back to Britain.
James Allison Spearsy.
And there's also that other rumor that James Allison still hasn't stated where he's going. So what is stopping James Allison and James Key joining together for a future Williams? Like maybe talking
It's
to
ego. They both have the
talking-
first same name. You can't have two Jameses. You can't have two Jameses running the show. Who's gonna be the James the first and the second?
They'll start talking to
My last name starts with A.
yeah. Well,
Yours starts with a K.
yeah, they start to refer to each other from.
But I'm James Key. I'm the key to this. No, you're not. And then they get in a fist fight. Yeah.
No, but seriously, so that's I guess one of the rumors that James Key might actually go to Williams, leaving Toro Rosso, and to join like the next phase of Williams to come after Pat Simmons, with even the possibility of James Allison, which in that case, can you
I'm sure he'd
imagine
like to work closer to home, right?
some of the most like in demand designers now working for Williams? That would be a huge coup for Williams if they actually can get either of them. Either of these guys is gonna do a great job at whatever they're doing, and they will. They might bring Williams back to what some people think is their rightful place.
If number 77 himself, Valtteri Bottas on YouTube, if he's to be believed, that this is the key to Williams's their disadvantage this season is that they don't have the tire expertise. That's what he said after the last race. Williams just doesn't have the tire expertise to compete. They're in 4th place. They're competing, but that's their in
people
quotes their excuse for losing to Force India is something like that it's their tires, right? If that's what it is.
But
at the end of the, who knows, right?
Listen,
who knows? Maybe he wasn't. It's one of those things. Maybe he wasn't supposed to say.
I think Williams. Williams.
Mad about his own tire.
I think Williams knew that they weren't gonna be in a competitive enough position, like not where they wanted to be. And it just actually to give a shout out again to Luke. When we were talking about James Key, yeah, he also designed that. Remember that Sauber that gave Sergio Perez the 2nd place in Malaysia? So he also designed that car. So anyway, it's James Key, very competent designer. But anyway, remember at the beginning of the year, and you can find this right now in one of the Motorsport magazine podcasts from earlier this year. They interviewed I think it was before the F1 season started. Definitely before the season started. They interviewed Pat Simmons from Williams, and they had a good, very lively podcast with him. And he basically said that from the get-go, that they tried to really ask him hey, so how do you think the year's gonna go? And then he was kind of oh, we'll see, whatever. We've tried this, and then they asked him you pretty much you told us last year that you're gonna work on this revolution, da 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 da. And he basically was forced to admit that, listen, we tried a few different things. We tried to design a few different ways that were going to be revolutionary. But when it came down to the testing, none of it worked. So they basically had to backtrack and go to last year's design,
what was working,
and at the very last minute, because they didn't know, they were basically banking everything on this revolutionary design, and then when that didn't work, there was no other way but to backtrack by a lot. So they've been kind of catching up, and at one point, if you're thinking of just straight numbers, you probably would have been listen, let's dial down 2016. We know that we're not gonna get anywhere near 2017, 2018, and as far as we can tell, that's what they're doing, and they still have the advantage of being relatively okay funded, having good facilities, having a good driver roster, and having the Williams name. You know what I mean? They're a team that has the experience of winning before. They have the facilities and people in place, let's say, and if they're bringing new people like James Key, that could be what actually gets it all together, brings it all together. And I think that everybody likes, and we've said this before over and over again, everybody likes it when Williams wins, because it means that that somebody small can do it.
Going into next year, they got their one driver with his own YouTube channel. So amazing. And the second driver who's Canadian. We haven't had a Canadian F1 driver for a little while.
Oh, we do a shout out to Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll.
If when he's sitting in that seat, there's gonna be a lot of people that are excited just based on being Canadians who haven't been. Maybe they'll be like, "Oh, I should check out F1." I haven't seen F1 for a while since back when those Canadians were those Canadian father sons.
And man, like as we established. Okay, well, actually,
yeah, man.
This year, so Lance Stroll. If we're talking about Lance Stroll, he just raced in Imola. Now we're
talking about Williams and Canada.
Well, the European F3 season is still ongoing, and there's a few more races to go of the year, but he just clinched the championship.
Championship's being locked.
And as far as the European Formula 3 championship goes, he's been the first North American to win it. So that's big. And this kid is, if he comes to F1...
Never mind North America. This is Canada.
When he comes to F1...
This is like half of North America anyways.
Driving beside Bottas, he's like... From everything that we can see, he might like falter at first, and maybe like get into a couple big crashes, because that's what he was known for last year. But once he gets the hang of it, he's going to give Bottas a run for his money, buddy.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Second year black tea.
Yeah.
Second year black tea. For sure, man.
So
that guy is cool as a fucking cucumber. He's going to have no problem killing it in the F1 car.
Yeah.
Get over those jitters and whatnot.
Yeah. It's going to be good. It's going to be great.
Let's go.
What jitters?
Before we get too far away, let's go all the way back quickly to lap 1, Malaysia.
Oh, yeah. We haven't even talked about that. And all the shit that actually happened.
We kind of did. Can we go to the race standings again quickly? But yeah, just lap 1 quickly. Vettel caused that accident. He's got a 3-place penalty for Japan. 3 places. Yeah. That's it.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. So it's okay. So we're talking about the Vettel thing?
Yeah, Vettel's got 3 places. Penalty. It's his fault.
Why? What's the mind?
Didn't Max call him an idiot or something like that?
What's in the mind
Vettel's stupid
of a man that has won four world championships, and now he's resorting to this kind of shit?
He got backlash from Italy. Oh, yeah. They don't care that this German guy speaks Italian. Years ago, they were crying. They were so happy to have this world champion driving a Ferrari. They gave him some shit since yesterday.
What is he doing, man? Look, honestly, guys.
Honestly,
guys. What is Vettel doing here? No. Okay, not.
Did you hear him yelling on FP1? He was yelling into the microphone. How do you balance that set of tires and do it so bad? I can barely see in this car. And he said he couldn't even see because his tires were balanced so bad. He's yelling at his team. If it's internal.
I know, but still,
I don't think it's all his fault.
He's not. Remember when Vettel was like the cool kid? Nothing ever got to. He was like a robot.
The finger man. He was the coolest dude. He was the coolest dude of all. I still love the guy, but he's lost some of that cool for sure. I don't know what happened.
Well, he definitely has
yeah,
and we're going back to his main criticism, and this is what. So I know that I got
he hasn't busted out that finger in years.
The people that were there for the race at Betty's when we watched it last week, and I know that whatever. Like I apologize. I get drunk. I start talking shit, but I did start saying some shit about Vettel. Like I was like, this is the kind of behavior that got him into the criticism that did, and like this is what I mean by that. So this is the kind of behavior that back in the day when he was in his Red Bull days, the moment that anything, even like the slightest thing went wrong, is like he had a hard time, not necessarily coping, but like there was just something that wasn't off. Like when he's winning and when he has a huge advantage and when he has a good day,
he's on top of it.
And
people hate him and he loves it.
Yeah. And and he can be super charming, and like he comes across as super smart and super cool. That's what everybody fucking like. Everybody used to say, "Holy shit, this kid, like he's so composed, whatever." But
he's like the cool Nico, but he speaks like 2 less languages. But he's like the cooler version of him.
Yeah. So and all he wanted was to like be alone. Like his private life was his private life, and people respected him for that. All that, whatever. Except
I don't do Instagram.
except for the couple times when like people saw like a little bit of a chink in his armor. You know what I mean? And then
oh shit.
and then 2014 came, and Daniel Ricciardo showed him what was good on the same car, and he became a whiny little bitch. He was a whiny little bitch.
Remember,
in 2014.
Canada was like the peak of that last year.
And now, last year, so last year, his first year at Ferrari, whatever, things were looking good. He was, things were on the up and up.
He was
Riva Bene is such a
He was
cool
like
guy.
on the radio all the time, speaking Italian.
Vicente. Are you kidding me? So yeah,
Bellissimo.
Yeah.
So happy, driving with one hand.
Tifosi, yeah, whatever, exactly. And now this year, Ferrari completely winless, not looking like they're gonna win. And if they
anything,
so that both Mercedes would have to crash into
each other. The team principal saying, "Leave us alone, CEO,
and
stop bothering us."
And both Red Bulls, basically. So if we get like a 4-car crash, maybe there's gonna be a Ferrari winner. But you know what I mean. So they're in a completely different position. And again, we're seeing that same Vettel that he lets things get to him, and he's not driving. And he says one thing on the driver's press conference. And this is one thing that I pointed out because I remember watching one of the press conferences after a race one time. It was like 2 races ago or something like that. I watched the race, and then I watched like the Friday press conference or the Thursday press conference with the drivers. And like one of the questions was exactly like, listen, like if you and Kimi are side by side, are you gonna like respect that space and like leave each other room? And like Vettel was like, of course, like we're giving this. Like he responded like a diplomat. We're giving these, the instructions from the team haven't changed. Da, 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 da.
Especially after last week, Max and
Kvyat, taking both cars home. Like that's the top priority. And what did he do? Like first corner that same weekend. And again,
in Singapore,
we're seeing that
Max and Kvyat side by side.
But
one of them took the other guy's seat and team spot away from him, which is very important.
But are we seeing was that deliberate or not? Actually, it doesn't matter at this point whether it was deliberate or not.
I have to believe it wasn't, but
whether it was deliberate or not,
man.
Like he was calling people cucumbers for driving like bullshit before, and now he's like what he did was not
this cucumbers
was not a 4-time world championship kind of driver. You know what I mean? This is why people get pissed. Like that kind of shit is not what Prost would have done. He would have retired before he put himself in a position that he
take someone out, take out your teammate. Yeah, you gotta have some respect and honor. It's your life. These guys, for them, it's their life. It's crazy. I don't know. Like, what do you do? But all that pressure, like, I don't think as fans, like as super fans, like we spend hours talking about this every week. You know what I mean? Like,
we don't know what it's like to drive for Ferrari. That's the other thing.
You don't know what it's like to drive for Manor. Never mind Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, like us compared to the Manor driver, where you're realizing your dream, you're just entering the sport, you prove yourself there, you move up, and you might become a world champion one day. This is like us compared to a go-kart driver. In the distance between them, you can't imagine. Like, I've never even raced in a national go-kart race where I've felt that pressure of. Forget being. This is hundreds of millions of people are yelling at you and or crying or getting angry or tweeting at you.
But that's what I mean, man.
Threatening your family.
That goes,
Ferrari
again,
sucks. Not buying cars from the company that powers you. Like,
but again,
Jesus Christ,
that just comes with the job. You know what I mean? These guys, if you're gonna have 4 world championships,
that's why I'm sitting on this podcast because I love to watch these dudes deal with that pressure every weekend.
Yeah,
but I can't imagine it.
He should be able to.
I try every time.
But shouldn't he be able to though with 4 world championships?
Yeah. He should.
Or is he just maybe now realizing?
Watching them fall apart though, you have to.
Hang on, or maybe is it one of those situations where he's 28, 29 years old, and for some reason he, or actually for many, many reasons, and most of them, like, his own hard work and his own effort and whatever, and his own dealing with things, he had managed to, like, not really do, like, a wrong decision in terms of like his career looking forward, and now maybe he's considering, shit, is this the first wrong decision that I've made? That must get to you, I guess. I don't know, man. I'm not an apologist here, but I'm trying to like.
He's got. Yeah, he's obviously a great driver, but there's getting to the pinnacle of anything.
Vince has got a good question. But whenever you're done.
Getting to the pinnacle of anything. If you design pens or whatever, like pens or getting to the top of anything. When you get there, it probably wasn't how you imagined you'd get there, how people would react, what you thought it was going to be. It's either more or less, but...
Or completely different.
Or completely different. It's one or the other, or neutrally in the middle of the 180 degrees backwards. But anything. And F1 is just one of the pinnacles of sports, the pinnacle of a sport, of motor racing, and the pinnacle of world sports, almost. How do you deal with that?
So last weekend, there was. So I play a lot of video games. Love video games. So there was the Overwatch tournament, North America, I believe.
Esports. The future of
30,000
athletics.
people watching on Twitch. It was really, really entertaining. Or it was probably the weekend before, actually. And I consider myself like a good player. Like I play competitively. I'm not like, but I can see how these people are getting reactions to them. Like people are like, "You're a piece of shit," and like it affects them. It clearly affects them. It's like I couldn't imagine like if like thousands of people were like, "Yeah," you'd be like, "Yeah, sick." But if I had 1,000 people being like, "You're a real piece of shit and you should die," like that's gonna affect my psyche. That's gonna affect my day, my week, even my month. Like there must be some sort of way that drivers in this case have to be like, I just can't focus on that at all. I can't let that affect me in any way, even the good stuff.
Still I rise. That's you go and tattoo that on your across your back.
Yeah,
it's that, and it's the opposite.
Yeah.
How do you not let the other stuff affect you?
Yeah.
How do you get affected positively by the stuff that's supposed to, and not get affected by the other stuff? And you look at a dude like Brundle. I've been a fan of this sport for a long time. I started off watching whatever race I could, VCRing them if I saw it, to now watching every race. It's been a long time. When I'm watching and I hear Brundle talking, he's like, "Oh, this guy's doing this. He's about to do the undercut. This team's thinking about this since Saturday." And like, once in a while, like I think of something in my head, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I wonder if they do this." And then Brundle says it, and it's like, once a weekend I'll think of something, and then Brundle says it, and it's like, oh, I get so excited. Like I thought of that before him.
Yeah.
But the level of being somebody that's like, he's been involved in this sport for like 40 years. He's constantly bragging about driving more F1 cars than anybody on earth ever. He's the guy that you ask about strategy and tires and cornering, overtake, anything. That's why he's the commentator on the channel to watch the sport, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to imagine. It's definitely hard to imagine.
I'm just trying to paint out like how hard it is to imagine. Like
absolutely,
none of us could do Brundle's job,
or none of us
maybe
drive,
in 30 years.
And none of us could. None of us could drive like car, Lewis. But that doesn't mean. and listen, I could never. But here's the other thing: I could
like
never
put a mic in his face, Lewis's face.
I could never. No, and nobody could like drive like Lewis, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, none of us could. But still. But I don't need to. I don't need to play.
On me.
I don't need to play sweet bass to be able to appreciate nice jazz. You know what I mean? Like don't like undercut yourself like as a fan, or like don't like say that like that there's
you
like
obviously
nothing
have insights as a fan.
Of course, absolutely. And that's why we watch.
That's why we watch Brundle. That's the reason. That's why you go to jazz concerts and see your favorite rock bands and stuff, because you're like, especially if you like to play guitar, drums or bass,
or not even if you do.
But being like a player, right? Someone who plays music obviously just has. It's not a better form of appreciation. It's just another way to look at appreciation. And I think that's a really important distinction to make. It's like, no, I'm not like, it's not I'm a better fan than you are. Like that's such a
No,
ridiculous notion.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not trying to say that at all.
Yeah, no, I never thought you
For
would.
anyone,
But I mean, I think
Myself
it's
or
an
anyone.
important,
even Brundle.
But we're just trying to bring some
distinction.
perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
The perspective that's hard to get
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's so extreme.
Yeah, it is.
350 kilometers an hour around the corner, 35 degrees, 80% humidity. Your engine's on fire.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Off topic though, now pointed by Vince. What was the best Grand Prix that we had this season, and which one of the upcoming 5 do you think are going to be better?
Oh my god, that's putting me on the spot.
I
might have to sit for.
I think I have an answer to that.
Okay,
Well, I mean, at least for myself,
what do you got?
I thought that I'm gonna agree with Vince here in saying that Spain was great, only because, again, you know, seeing the two Mercedes crash into each other, and it just I'm just that kind of a fan though. Seeing the two Mercedes crash into each other and just realizing immediately what the repercussions of that was gonna be, like made it like from the moment that happened, I was like, it was like back when I was watching, like I can't remember the last time that I was like so completely involved, like all 5 senses in a race so much, than maybe like Brazil 2012 when it was like Alonso and Vettel. Like I just couldn't, like, because I was like really like feeling it, and then Verstappen winning, and like even with team involvement or not, whatever, right? It was great to see, but whatever. No, and that was a great race. Another great race that I think was just great for a completely different reason. I thought it was predictably great. Was actually the Hungary this year.
That's
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking Hungary.
Yeah, but it was.
And
it
I was gonna say
it was,
Canada because I was there.
Oh yeah, well Canada, obviously. I mean, Canada is, for me is out of the
Because
question.
I was standing there.
Yeah. Obviously, going to the Canadian Grand Prix was amazing. Yes, obviously that's. But so those were great
Hungary
races.
was cool. Australia was really cool.
Vince says, seeing those two Mercedes crash into each other made me believe in a higher power again.
Right? No, but it was great.
Brilliant.
But and then Hungary and obviously Canada. But
Australia for me was cool because it was built up. I had to wait a week, and I knew that there was that accident. Like I saw it. I just happened to see it on a screen at the time that I was trying to avoid looking at. I saw the accident, so I knew there was like something crazy happened. I was trying not to look while it was live, and I had to wait a week to watch it to the start of the season. And thinking about the year before when, 13 cars finished or something?
Yeah, it was retarded.
In the start of it. I don't know. Of the ones coming up, I don't know, man. It looks like the U.S.
Yeah, Austin. I was
like,
going to
like
say
Coda,
Austin.
like they're working hard to pump this and make sure that the U.S. Grand Prix is here to stay. Because last year they had a hard year. They've actually sold a lot of tickets.
The
It's
Liberty
US
Media
it's
deal.
US or Abu Dhabi. This year.
The Liberty Media deal.
Yeah, Liberty, Haas.
What's
Taylor
it called?
Swift,
There's a
The
possibility of
Weeknd.
the championship ending there.
Yeah.
You know, by Coda's time, if
We're going to get to watch it live at Betty's.
yeah, we're gonna get to watch it live at Betty's.
For anyone that's
those
going
those are
live,
personal reasons, but like, what about objective reasons? Just if
objective, I really like the Coda track, and I really like the Abu Dhabi track, especially that it's got that lock on that sunset race. It's kind of cool to close the season. US or Abu Dhabi, if I had to pick one, I don't know. I'm going to say the US. I think but I don't know. Abu Dhabi, I still really am confident that the 4th and 5th place, Williams and Force India, is going to go right down to that. I don't know. It's tough to choose, man. U.S. is pushing though. I kind of wish we got to go. Like if I had that money, that we could just go without even thinking about it. They're getting over 20 bands.
Oh yeah.
They're doing a full festival business.
The weekend is.
They had one of the worst Grand Prix of all time last year. The 2015 U.S. Grand Prix.
And they're not giving up. God bless them.
Objectively, was one of the worst Grand Prix of all time. But it wasn't their fault. They had that cyclone or whatever hit them. The parking lot turned to mud. there was no paths there
Yeah,
to
man,
walk
there's
through.
like rivers and
People
shit.
didn't
going
show
on.
up. The track was getting washed out.
So they had
Stuff
to do
was
something
on
for
fire.
this
They
year.
had to cancel their music. Some of the show, like it was a disaster.
Yeah. But
They're
it's
turning that
great
around.
to watch.
And that circuit is bad. I really like
Great
that
for
track.
TV.
Yeah, that was one of the. I remember it. I
Yeah.
remember one of the heaviest.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, man. I don't know.
And
That's a good thing.
I always look forward to Brazil, but it's because I just
The history. I really do like
Yeah.
that track. As narrow as Japan is, that's got. I think that might be the narrowest track.
and
Brazil.
by Brazil everything usually has been decided, so you see great racing from people that are just driving for the hell of it. Like you can, i.e. Button, another great Button almost I wouldn't say humiliated, but he drove a great race against Alonso and outqualified Alonso, I believe, last year, and that was great to see because you could see that just Button was just not giving a fuck, and he got that. Just some drivers just get affected by the points and whatever, and once it's all done and dusted, they're fully we're all right, whatever, let's drive. So I think that I'm gonna be looking forward to performances like that from people that are gonna be midfielder and down. Button probably this year again. Massa wanting to do a splash on his last race and his last.
He's got
after
5
such a
races
lo-
left, man.
I-
He's gonna be crying every one. I would
Yeah,
be.
Brazil. I can only see Brazil being good, and yeah, like you said, Coda, and not to say anything less of the other tracks because there's some great tracks coming too. Like you said, Abu Dhabi and Suzuka this weekend even. It's gonna be a great race as well.
Since you just pulled them up.
Actually, can I just since we were talking about Kota, because one of the other things that they've done in terms to promote the race coming up is they went and asked around all the drivers what their favorite driving music was, and they
You throw up a playlist.
yeah.
Coda playlist.
Oh yeah, man. This is available on Spotify right now.
Oh, that's a
if
very
you go
cool
to
idea.
circuitoftheamericas.com, it's on their blog. But I just want to go through the list of the top. Mike, listen, this is right down your alley, buddy. Actually, if we want to pull up the list, I believe it's here. It's under drivers driving songs.
Another two. The Circuit of the Americas has hired over 20 bands from the Austin area, as well as Taylor Swift and The Weeknd, as well as the Dallas Cowboys cheerleading squad will be there.
They've done that before, though.
Yeah, and another 15 pop-up acts like jugglers and acrobatists and unicyclists and flame swallowers and oh my goodness.
Just all kinds of buskers and brawls and things. They want to make a big splash because they don't want to lose it, and they know that people are going to be watching this year. Mike, do you got that?
Sorry, where's it? Showbook or
Showbook? Yeah, second page, right at the top.
As far as
Drivers
the
driving songs.
Formula One news are saying,
Okay.
Circuit of the Americas has sold almost as many tickets as their first year for 2016. What do we got?
So here's what we got. So Lewis Hamilton at the top. His 3 driving songs that he put is Ty Dolla $ign Wavy, Ty Dolla $ign Campaign, and whatever this is. How do you even read Made in TYO? Made in T. I don't know any of these people.
No.
Do you know?
No.
Can you just pull this one up for a few seconds? Don't necessarily show the video. Just who's Ty Dolla $ign?
He's a hip hop artist. He's got some fat braids. He's got his own hats. Got his own style.
I guess I can't play it, huh?
No.
We'll play a few seconds of it. We can get away with 7 seconds or something like that.
Okay, well,
Just play a random clip of that.
Yeah, he's got his rap name tattooed on his neck. It's tattooed on his neck in heavy fat letters. You don't have to worry about Ty Dolla $ign. This is how Lewis gets prepared
that's
on
pretty
the
much
driver's
it.
parade.
Wait,
Alright.
in the middle of the song?
Too many niggas wanna be him.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
it.
So that's Lewis. Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg. How old are you?
Yeah.
You two. His song picks are "You Two Beautiful Day,"
How many boyfriends does he have?
"Surfing USA" by the Beach Boys, and Kings of Leon, "Sex on Fire," a song popular
when I was in high school.
Yeah, but
High school
but-
kids 12 years ago.
high school kids' mothers 12 years ago loved this song. No, tell me that's not true. Tell me that's not true. Come on, man. Like people, like middle-aged women love that song. It's something about it. Vittel is a bit more weird too. Vittel, like I knew that he was like an eclectic guy.
He really
but
likes America. He really likes America secretly.
Actually,
Half secretly.
This song, Bruce Springsteen, "Born in the USA," is one of his choices, as well as Prince's "Little Red Corvette." But the "Born in the USA" actually comes up later on. You'll see. So Kimi Räikkönen, a bunch of like hard music, like Kimi Räikkönen, of course, it'll be like one of his like. I think this is like his buddy's band, PMMP. He hangs out with these guys. They're Finnish like he is. And then like America, "Horse with No Name."
Yeah,
That's a good song. Good
classic.
tune. Yeah, and I'm Born to Be Wild. Cool. Danny Rick. Lumineers, Mr. Wives. Pretty indie, pretty hipster. All right, you know what I mean? Max Verstappen.
This is
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson songs. Like, was he even around for MJ?
No, these songs are both from the 70s. Billie Jean and Thriller both were from the 70s.
Back from when he was
before
black.
we were born.
Yeah, so those are his driving songs. All right.
We're almost 12 years older than that guy. And those songs are from way before we existed.
Bottas, like displaying his inner redneck, and again, "Born in the USA," "Sweet Home Alabama," and "The Offspring." Pretty fly for a white guy. Good for him. All good. Or maybe he's just maybe he just really likes camping, because these are good camping songs. All right, like around the fire.
for White Guys is a good camping song.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Felipe Massa with some Pharrell, Bruno Mars, and "Hotel California."
These songs are.
You know what I mean? Like Esteban Gutierrez. I don't know.
Rascal Flats. Okay.
Yeah, you know. So he's
Grosjean.
Grosjean. Grosjean is. I guess it's not unexpected though.
No.
You know what I mean? Like this is.
No.
I would have penned him for some. I guess if I were to like make a list with him, I probably would have thrown, like, instead of one of these, I would have thrown a Justice song or something like that, like something French. But
Yeah.
I guess not. You know.
I guess not.
Sergio Perez, Enrique.
Yeah. How could you not? How could you not?
So he's got Sergio Perez, Checo. He's got some U2, Coldplay, Viva La Vida, and Enrique Iglesias, Bailando.
Jesus.
Hulkenberg, again, very classic rock. Very
Yeah.
cool. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool, right? You know, I can't get no. You know, Rolling Stones, Beach Boys, and the Eagles. Daniel Kvyat, heavy with the metal,
Yeah.
and
Little things.
Frank's.
I can respect this actually a lot. I actually, in fact, hate Metallica, almost with a fiery passion. But I can respect them, and so therefore I respect this,
So Daniel Kvyat, like,
even
is-
if I don't like
like,
him that much.
But think of this playlist, like right now, the Danny Kvyat playlist: Metallica, Whiskey in the Jar, Motorhead, Ace of Spades, and Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, Strangers in the Night. Driving down to that, like, you're probably like, Strangers. You know what I mean?
You kind of imagine a bunch of Russian mobsters sitting around listening to Frank Sinatra.
You could. Right, that's for when he's with his mobster buddies. I get it. Felipe Nassar, again, very, very classic rock,
Yeah.
like early grunge. That's cool. All right.
The Doors,
I
ZZ
did not
Top,
expect
and
this.
Pearl Jam.
This to me was the most unexpected. ZZ Top, The Doors, and Pearl Jam for Felipe Nassar. Marcus Ericsson. Something about the Leonard Skinner. So he is also a classic rock guy.
Yeah.
But these are great driving songs too.
yeah.
You know.
Julian Palmer's just
Joe Bo-
screaming for his British support.
Oh my God,
Fleetwood Mac the Chain.
How dare he? You do not touch that.
BBC told F1 to get lost. You don't mention that song ever again.
Oh, but now Channel 4 has it, I guess. And Kevin Magnussen with just one.
I don't watch Channel 4.
Born in the
USA.
That's not the. That's someone else had that as well. Didn't
three
they?
Two other
times again.
guys had that.
Bottas
And
and
Vettel
then
said it.
Vettel.
Oh my god.
Born in the USA.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Right? It seems like a weird choice. That's the list.
I'm glad that's over.
Yeah.
That was the worst list ever.
Yeah.
I don't.
The
Yeah.
worst list ever.
I don't know if I have more or less respect for some of those people. But definitely, some of them were unexpected choices. Some of them were completely expected.
This is the pumpkin spice latte of coffee to music.
All right.
Did you guys hear this? The European Grand Prix next year is going to be called the Grand Prix of Azerbaijan instead.
They finally took a good look. And we're like, guys,
Oh wait, geographically,
we're
this doesn't
actually
make any
here.
sense.
It's actually like a few thousand. Europe's like thousands of kilometers from here. We fucked up. Why don't we just name it after ourselves? Yeah, why wouldn't they have named it after themselves
From the beginning.
from the start? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
but it's coming back though. It's coming back.
Yeah, well,
When they race there
have,
again.
they have a deal for 4 years, right? At least.
Those standing waves though, are they gonna fix that with technology?
Who knows? I hope.
That was the whole big deal, right?
I hope that at least like more people show up next year.
They're gonna temporarily pave that thing again for like 4 months. That hill.
You know what's happening
It's
though?
cobblestones.
I actually like. I'm very hopeful for Baku next year because I think that, in a way, Baku with the very sharp turns and whatever, like, it's a new street circuit, and it just seems like the tendency is that whenever a new street circuit gets introduced, sometimes it happens that like the first year is bad. It's a boring race because drivers don't want to take too many chances. But then after actually having raced there, the next year it tends to be a little bit better. Sometimes it doesn't get any better like until like the very end, the last year with the Valencia. But sometimes, and I would be willing to say that
Maldonado.
Russia was the other way, and Russia can't necessarily be considered a full like street circuit because it's not fully a street circuit, but let's call it a street circuit for the sake of this argument with all the 90-degree turns and whatever. The second year at Russia last year was actually a really good race, I thought. So maybe once, like now that they know where to push the boundaries and where to like how to deal with the track, I'm hopeful that at least for 2016, Baku is actually going to give us some surprise and it's going to give us a good race.
I hope so.
Yeah.
The fat cars.
We're having a little stream problem.
Oh shit! What's going on?
I do not know.
Oh man.
It's that time. All the kids are coming back from school.
But
Those-
this usually does end up
those
making it
kids.
into the stream in the
Yep.
end, right?
It does.
It's just like right now the people that are like watching are probably like not what like I gotta look into tuna. Sorry, people that are watching right now.
Yeah,
We really
these are just
apologize.
sort of problem of the times.
Okay, well we'll take this time. So yeah, whatever. Like we're almost like into the 2-hour mark of the episode. This is usually when we start to talk beer shit. Anyway,
Check out this. I think this is a one-way street.
About what?
George Lorenzo is a MotoGP racer.
Oh, Jorge Lorenzo.
Jorge, yes, it's Spanish. Yeah.
We're back to full green.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh,
Sorry, people, that we just got some technical difficulties for the live streamers.
Anyways, he is through his Monster sponsorship, which is shared with Mercedes F1 team, going to be driving Lewis Hamilton's 2014 W05 Formula One car at Silverstone
Oh, really?
in the next week. Yeah.
So they're letting a GP2 guy jump in an F1 car?
He-
That ought to be interesting.
He spent a few days. He spent a couple few days building it up. So they let him race faster and faster and faster and faster and faster cars at a track that he was going to be driving the F1 car track at. So over and over the same track. But like I'm saying, I think it's a bit of a one-way street. Like I don't believe that Lewis Hamilton will ever go for a hot lap in Silverstone in Jorge Lorenzo's 2014 championship-winning MotoGP car.
There's no such thing.
It's
Danny.
MotoGP bike. The two wheels, yeah, it's just not gonna happen.
Jorge Lorenzo, like he I guess he's one of like the top guys. I have no idea. I'm sorry.
Sorry, not 2014, but he's a 2015
anybody.
champion. He's the current reigning champion.
For anybody out there that maybe a little disappointed. Yes, I do not. We actually none of us really know a lot about MotoGP.
We don't know a lot. He's got 3 championships though. He's the reigning champion right now. But there's no way they're gonna let Lewis, through his Monster sponsorship, go back and drive
What, a motorcycle?
Drive this guy's 2014 MotoGP bike.
Lewis has too much insurance money going on. No way. They're not gonna let him.
Yeah, but they're letting this guy go up and drive Lewis Hamilton's 2014 F1 car. Anyways,
that should be interesting. And I look forward to
I kind of want to see this.
segment.
I want to look this up on YouTube and
Why
find
don't
it.
they should do it? Give him some sort of a benchmark. Like send Lewis to do a lap and then send him to do a lap, and try to like spend all day trying to beat Lewis and see how close he gets.
Let them try to beat each other. Throw Lewis on the bike, throw him in the car, strap him in.
Well, I
We'll
think
strap in him anyways.
Yeah, but
Lewis
see-
can hold on tight.
absolutely.
You do some of those nutcracker exercises to make sure you can hold onto the handlebars under 2 or 3 G's acceleration.
Those things are pretty insane. Still
Those bikes are insane.
not for some reason not interesting enough for me.
For me, yeah, I'm not into it. But MotoGP is growing, and it's still growing.
It's a force to be reckoned with.
Dangerous
Right now.
as hell. And I think, as far as I know, Sepang Malaysia Circuit's biggest annual event is the MotoGP race.
Yeah.
The biggest attended.
Hosting a MotoGP race is way cheaper than F1 for sure.
Yeah, but anyway, more people show up to watch it than F1, right?
Because they can afford to like charge.
They can afford it.
And I think more people can in certain countries, more people can relate to driving a motorcycle at speed.
They're all about their scooters and stuff. That's everyone's just going around on scooters.
Yeah.
You can get around downtown. Everyone can kind of weave in and out between each other. The roads are narrow.
And buying a racing spec motorcycle is something that like just like a middle, like if you're like upper middle class, you could do.
If you have a few millions.
Yeah. No.
One of these
just,
MotoGP bikes.
Yeah, like a racing spec. I see them all the time, fucking in Toronto. Like people are like probably just buy their motorcycle because they think it's cool and like they get sold that it's this is like a racing motorcycle and it comes with like the Repsol MotoGP sponsorship. I'm like, Repsol isn't even in Canada at all. Like, why would you buy that? Like, well, actually, why would you buy like a motorcycle with like stickers for gas company on your? Anyway, but yeah.
Anyways, that's a one-way street as far as racing. There's no F1 driver is going to be doing laps on MotoGP bikes ever. This dude's 29, about the same age as Hamilton. There's just no way. There's no way that you're going to see Hamilton on his Yamaha. Ever.
No way.
It's just
maybe at the end of Hamilton's career. One day.
maybe.
Like once he has got nothing to lose. Like I guess other than the ultimate sacrifice.
His balls, his giant balls.
Mike, there's a link on the book highlighted. It says Suzuka trailer, and I just thought to bring this up because at least on my computer, if you go on YouTube or on just pause this for a second.
Yeah.
if you go on Google and pause it and look up Suzuka, this is the first thing that shows up.
This is because of all the bukkake porn you've always been searching. They assume that you want to see this first before the race.
She makes quite a first impression. That first time I saw her, man, so cute. An amazing talent.
Jay,
Especially for
Jay, come on.
So I guess there's an anime that's called Suzuka, and for a lot of Google, this shows up before the race. It's clearly one of those soppy fucking anime. Just in case anybody was wondering what that was all about. I thought it was funny anyway.
In the wrong way. About Suzuka itself, about the Formula One International Motor Racing Circuit, the world famous.
What in Suzuka?
Suzuka, yeah. There's not a lot to say this year. This is what we were talking about before this show. There's nothing crazy. Can we throw up the weather? the weather
Well,
report.
yeah, people are saying that it might
perhaps
rain on
it might rain on
Sunday.
Sunday. Right now, it's predicted at 50%.
It's too
The
early.
humidity and wind, there's not even a guess mentioned yet. No hourly forecasts are available. It's only Tuesday, right?
It's too early to tell. It's too early to call it.
Even when we do call it, we're wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do not take this as
My
reliable,
streak
no.
has just not been right.
We're not weathermen. We're probably looking at mid-20s though. I don't know.
So it's gonna be an altogether a cooler track. So it's gonna a lot of the problems that I guess some people were having kind of a difficulty at adjusting to the high temperatures of the last track. Like even Lewis was having tire problems, especially with that new asphalt that was like pitch black. Yeah. So track temperatures were hot in Malaysia. They're not gonna be so hot in Japan.
Yeah.
They're gonna be more like what they're used to. They're also it's such a legendary track that at least like all of them at least have done extensive simulator work on it.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be some guys that are gonna show up there with absolutely no experience in that track, but by and large, all of them have experience. All of them know what to expect, which is kind of expect the unexpected at the same time. Like they know that, but they kind of know what they're getting into. And Suzuka, one of the sickest tracks.
That's what I found so cool about Lance Stroll's little interview we did with him, which was because we got to ask him, like, what's the simulator like? Like, and he's like, obviously, it's not like the real thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But it gets you sort of, I don't think he said this. I'm gonna just paraphrase. Yeah, I'm just gonna paraphrase it. But it gets you into the mindset of how the track flows.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that's more important to the driver because, like, obviously, a track can be different day by day.
Yeah.
Right, so like you can prepare as much as you want, but until you get there, you don't really know what you're getting into.
One thing that I always found interesting was Kamui Kobayashi, a Japanese driver. He got he's got the last Japanese or the last podium from a Japanese person in F1 still to this day on a Sauber, that same Sauber that James Key designed. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He got to third. He got to sit in the podium, and when he was asked about Suzuka and like why was it so special, why was it so crazy, he said that listen, there's other tracks, most of other tracks, it takes you like a few laps to memorize. Like some hard tracks like take you like 10 or 11 laps till you start to like memorize it.
You get the flow down, see
Yeah.
where the line is. Yeah.
But he said that Suzuka, you're always learning something new, some new way to approach it.
Every corner is graded differently, different
Yeah.
angle, different elevation,
Yeah.
different angle, different radius. Everyone is different.
Yeah, so that's in terms of being like that much of a technical track, but at the same time, it's because some tracks are super technical and then they end up being super boring, right? Where Suzuka has that nice balance of being an exciting track that still allows for overtaking, that still allows for some bold moves, and yeah, this is
me driving.
your attempt.
The final chicane, the downhill.
This is literally the first time I've played this map.
Map.
Yeah, stop playing so much Overwatch.
So here's the main straight coming down to the first corner. Brake
I'm not actually playing it
pretty
this time,
hard
guys.
into this. You downshift. You should be in like
It's-
third gear here and still accelerate.
There's no great
You gotta-
elevation change, but like
It's
almost
pretty
every, like
big
you
though.
said,
Like up, you're going uphill.
it's not spa levels. Nothing is spa levels, but there's still some elevation.
Uphill. You're still climbing. You're still climbing. You're still climbing.
Blindish corner right
You're
there.
Still climbing. This is all like balancing the throttle. Here you can go full throttle again, tight. You're still climbing. This is pretty much the top here. Now you brake hard, down to second.
Yeah, I always fucking
Hairpin. Yeah, that corner's hard. Downhill. Second or third gear, wide. Accelerate. You should be up to like fifth or sixth for this corner, and then slam it for this hairpin.
This gets so many drivers like caught out.
Yeah, and then you just flat
caught
out.
me.
You
Yeah.
just flat out from here. You're going full throttle.
Because it's one of those corners that you
Accelerate,
kind of want to
accelerate,
keep going, but
Yeah.
Keep turning right, and then you slam the brakes again. This is the spoon. The spoon is the hardest corner of this circuit. pretty
Yeah,
good
this
here,
one's-
though. You
this
did
one's
pretty
tough.
fucking good. Here again, you got your full throttle, your foot down right here.
Look,
You should have your foot down all the way coming up to
just-
130 R.
I just love how
Climbing again.
narrow and look at these the walls.
It's almost Monaco narrow.
Oh, yeah.
The walls are a bit wider. 130 R left.
That bit
The
there, like,
widest, longest, fastest, most G-forces of the whole calendar. And here, the final chicane. You're downhill onto the front straight again. Ah, I love this track. I want to ride that Ferris wheel so I can see the whole circuit at once with my eyes.
there you go. Boom.
There's a lap.
So that's a lap around Suzuka for our watchers, our
Suzuka's
viewers.
So cool.
Oh,
And
Oh, little wide, little wide, little wide.
this is a track that hasn't changed a lot over the years. It's one of the old school ones. Like it's what is it? Silverstone, Monza, or no, actually Monza.
Yeah, Monza.
Monza, Silverstone,
Silverstone.
Spa, Suzuka.
Suzuka.
Yeah, like in terms of how old
The
they
oldest
are.
history.
Yeah,
Nürburgring is up there as
but
well
no,
as
but
Hockenheim.
we haven't raced in Nürburgring.
Not this
Yeah.
year,
Yeah, so of the ones that they're racing this year, this
Yeah.
is one of the classic
One
ones.
of the oldest ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we were just saying, we were talking about this before the show. This circuit, unlike Malaysia, after just under 20 years, 16, 17 years, whatever, they took it apart. They ripped up all the asphalt, reprofiled it, and repaved it from scratch, all the way brand new. This circuit has never had that done, as far as I know. It's basically the same profile. 130R has been adjusted a bit. It used to be really dangerous.
Yeah.
Now it's just pretty dangerous. But the circuit is almost unchanged. It's one of the original circuits. Yeah, I love it. And the Japanese people always
The
love it.
crowd.
The stands are always
Yeah.
full. All people are cheering and stuff. No Japanese drivers as of right now to cheer for, but they got Honda.
Well,
Honda's
they
in there.
and this is the whole reason why Alonso took those penalties is because they want to make a splash and like
yeah. They didn't even race with their new stuff. They tested it in the
just,
practice sessions,
just
and they
stockpile
didn't
it,
even race.
a la Hamilton.
Just like Hamilton
yeah.
did.
So they're saving it for this weekend because they know that I
You
think
have
that
an extra engine, turn it up to 11 or 12 even.
both
Just let it.
both
run,
McLaren,
run.
if everything goes well, they're gonna end up in the points, right? And that's gonna be huge on what their home so and like both of those drivers, both of them, they actually love Japan.
Yeah.
So like
Alonso does.
it'll be great.
Button himself was married to a Japanese chick
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah, he had those. He always like puts Japanese characters on his helmet for the Japanese race. Alonso, like he has like a tattoo of a samurai on his. You know what I mean? They're both very, very, very into Japan.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to do their best, and I really do see them, man. I see them. If you told me that at the end of Sunday, they ended up 6 and 7, I believe you, man. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
It's quite possible.
It's possible if they sacrifice 2 engines.
Yeah.
I hope they don't for Button, because we did a little bit of calculation after the podcast last week. You and I were looking at some numbers. We're trying to break down this 300th race and now the whole thing for Button.
Yeah.
We looked up his kilometers raced. Assuming no DNFs, Jenson Button will have raced the equivalent of 2 Earth equators distance.
To perimeters. Yeah.
The equator distance all the way around is 40,040 kilometers. He will be 2 of those at lap 11 in Mexico, coming out the last corner. 11.8 laps to be precise. Accelerating out of that Perotada.
Or no, actually, and it's not called Peraltada now. It's the Nigel Mansell corner.
Get the
Mansell corner.
Anyways, the Perotada.
The old Peraltada.
Yeah, he'll be accelerating out of there, passing 2 Earth distances. And don't forget, Jenson Button raced
Those are
the
just-
Honda Earth car
Those are just
many years ago.
Earth distance. Or sorry, race like in
Just
racing.
racing.
Just racing.
No practices,
No
no
quali.
qualifying, no testing, no demonstration laps, none of that combined.
So all of that, like he's Formula One career has been fucking immense. The amount of mileage that he's had on those cars.
Jenson Button is guaranteed to retire in the 3rd most kilometers raced of all time of any F1 driver. at the end of this season, only behind Barrichello and
Schumacher.
Michael Schumacher,
Yeah.
and also assuming no DNFs on this, he will retire with the second most kilometers ever raced.
That's insane.
I don't have the exact number anymore. A lap 53 in Abu Dhabi, behind only Schumacher, and ahead of Barrichello by only 13 kilometers
Nice.
over his career
Yeah.
of over 80,000 kilometers raced,
And one
assuming no DNFs.
one of the things
This
that
is
like
incredible.
he said on the in one of his interviews that like he remembers when Barrichello got to his 300th and he was
When he-
like, holy shit.
I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah,
It's
and-
impossible. That's
yeah.
crazy. Who's gonna race that much?
Yeah, and here he is, which is cool. I mean, and I you know what? I'm glad that he can say he had a full career.
Yeah.
He's a champion.
What more can you ask for,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's a champion.
He raced
He's
through 3 eras
he's-
of the sport.
He's well respected as a
V10s,
driver.
8s, and 6s.
Nobody like he's considered. I'm not gonna say that he's one of the best of all times, but in his era, like as long as Jenson Button was driving, you could say that he was one of the best.
One of the best looking of all times.
Yeah, but definitely one of the best looking of all time. Fucking Jenson.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Anyway, yeah, I don't got much more going on for today. I think our good listeners deserve a break from our.
Play us out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all this rambling.
It was a good rambling.
Hope you enjoyed.
And yeah, if you're anywhere near
Hashtag Ask
Toronto,
Latifi.
Japanese Grand Prix. I know that nobody stays in Toronto for the Thanksgiving weekend, but if you are,
Come out
and
to
if
Betty's,
not,
man.
Mike, your Bamboo has a show coming up. When?
November 3rd. We'll let you guys know.
Silver Dollar Room.
Yeah, we'll talk about this.
Then called Colegia.
I was squirming out of the light, trying to wipe it from out of my eyes. Sun is climbing up these dirty walls. What is my animal heart driving? But you love me, you deceive me, you walk me through the door. But you love me, you deceive me, you walk me through the door. But you love me, you deceive me, you walk me through the door. Why do things never change?